You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension.
There is nothing wrong with your television. Do not attempt to adjust the picture. We are now controlling the transmission. We control the horizontal and the vertical.
Oh, great! It's Monsters, our favorite show.
It's starting.
Welcome to Tales from the TV, the show that goes through the oddities and mysteries of the airways from days gone and the seedy weirdness of our own digital age. On this episode, we reviewed the seminal Monsters classic, Bughouse. This originally aired in October 14th, 1990. The story is an adaptation of a short story of the same name by the criminally underrated Lisa Tuttle. There are only 3 actors in this, and to be honest, none of them have been in anything that the fans of this show would likely care about. But weirdly enough, the director is actually a makeup artist and has been on a lot of high-profile movies, including X-Men 3, the bad one, the 4th Pirates of the Caribbean, and the Academy Award-winning Lincoln, which makes a lot of sense since everyone in this episode looks absolutely filthy, like you would stick to anything you touched. Some notable differences between the short story and the episode. In the, you know what, why don't we get into that when we actually talk about the plot of the show? But
I'm Rico.
Well, I was just to introduce you guys. And someone who may or may not be pregnant with an insect baby, Rico Argenteri.
Hey, what's up, guys? How's it going?
Good. How are you doing?
Hey, buddy.
I went to the Bills game yesterday, and it was fun. I got to hang out with my cousins, but it was misery. They got blown out, and it was fucking shitty weather. Then we left at like the 3rd quarter. I had to walk like 3 miles to find an Uber. It was brutal, but I went to bed at like 6 p.m. So.
Would you recommend that experience?
I wouldn't. I might not go to a Bills game ever again in my life, or any football game.
How many Walter Jamesons out of 10
Yeah.
did you rate that experience?
How many Peters out of Walters would you give this?
It was sweet until you go into the game, and then you gotta wait in line for 20 minutes for a vaccine card check, and then you gotta wait in line another 10 minutes for your ticket check, and then they took my lighter. I couldn't sneak a cigarette in the bathroom. Yeah, it was not
What's
nice.
this world coming to?
It was not nice.
If 2 grown men can't smoke while peeing in a trough together, I don't understand.
I did wake up, and I woke up at like maybe 10 o'clock, and I caught the end of Survivor Series, which pissed me off even more. So
Yeah, you were better off not seeing that. Remember when they made a 4-hour love story to The Rock and then he didn't show up at the end? That was my favorite part of Survivor Series. Fuck you,
that was it. All right, you want to introduce our other guests? I'm done on my tangents.
And a man who may have put that insect baby in Rico, Joe Thurston.
I like that. And I probably did.
What's up,
Hi,
Joe?
guys. How are you?
We're great.
Awesome. I don't have any entertaining football stories to tell, as I got to watch the game yesterday from the warmth of my sister's home, hanging out with my family, and I had a lovely time.
Well,
Sounds
yeah,
right.
because you could just shut the game off and watch Bughouse then.
Yeah, it's all we did.
Yeah, Bughouse,
Bughouse
family
on endless
friendly
loop.
in the extreme.
It really brought us together.
This is
tested
a
our
hot
relationship.
episode.
This is a
This is
steamy
on
thirsty
SFW.
episode.
Do not watch this with your kids.
No, or at work.
It's basically a porno.
It is definitely got a Skinamax feel to it.
Incest,
For sure.
incest, and insect.
Is there incest in
Ew.
this?
I mean, basically, juices are connecting.
They're Eskimo sisters,
Yeah,
as
they're
well as real
Eskimo
sisters. So
Oy vey.
the plot of this is a woman whose name I don't remember. I'm not gonna lie. I've seen this episode probably like 6 times in my life, and I don't remember his name.
Ellen. Her name's Ellen.
So Ellen shows up to her sister May, who she lives in a cabin in the woods, and it looks dilapidated, and everything looks a little sticky. And she's
Oh, it's sticky.
it's very sticky. And
Everyone in the story is sticky.
like visibly, like you can hear them crunching. Um
I was
But-
thinking another kind of sticky, but yeah, go ahead.
May is very pregnant, and she hasn't spoken with her family in over a year, so something weird's happening. And the sister obviously wants to know, like, hey, what's going on? How come you didn't tell me about this? And May, who to my knowledge has never been in anything else, I couldn't find any other credit for her on IMDb, snaps at her sister and seems to just hate the shit out of her. It's like, why'd you even show up here? And also, she doesn't look good. She looks like she's about to keel over. And that's when the eponymous Peter shows up, who is
This guy,
one of
this
the
fucking guy.
oiliest men to ever exist, I think.
he is very oily.
And it takes
He sells snake oil at the gas station. Too,
he does.
probably.
This guy sells snake oil at the gas station, and it takes him all of like 45 seconds to prop up May on the counter of the kitchen, and they start making out violently and passionately before he takes her upstairs, and we get a cutaway
Yeah,
of
and
loud bang.
you get a foreshadowing of Ellen.
You do.
She's kind of like turned on by this too
She
a little
is.
bit. You could kind of
Yeah.
look. You could
Yeah,
kinda
she
tell.
was. I think I think that's what's gonna pass for subtlety in this episode.
And this guy, I don't. This guy is not attractive. I don't.
No, he's
think at all.
not. Peter is so
I mean,
gross.
maybe when did this come out?
1989, I think.
90s,
guess
October
that-
of 1990.
There
That
you
look,
go.
I guess that look was kind of in, but
Yeah.
I don't know. He does. That look
yeah,
doesn't hold
Gross
up.
looking. No, it doesn't. But like,
I got a lot to say about that guy, but I'm gonna save it for after the episode too.
okay. and then after that, they sort of wake up, and Peter's like, I need money. And she's like, why do you need my money? And she's like, I need it for the tow truck. And it's like, lady, why are you giving this strange man money? Just fucking walk there yourself.
And he's cooking
Yeah.
breakfast. He cooked their breakfast.
He
though.
did cook her breakfast and do the
So,
laundry. So
He's
is
kind of he's kind of slimy, but he's kind of
yeah. He's
Yeah.
just
you don't
nice
know
enough.
yet. You don't know yet. You could
Yeah.
tell he's creepy, but
You
and
don't
he
know how- I
definitely.
love-
I cleaned your underwear.
Yeah, I cleaned your underwear. I sorted through your things. You're welcome.
And I
Now give
love
me
the-
money, bitch.
The TV thing where he's like, give me money. And she just reaches in her purse and hands him a lot of money.
I know,
And
right?
there's nothing else said.
Like
here's
that would
tow truck
ever
money.
happen. Oh yeah, here's money. There you go.
Don't count
That's-
it. Don't tell me how much you need. Just
This
money.
This is why she's so attracted to him too, because he needs money.
Yeah, because he's a loser. But then he disappears for the day, and then they have a nice sisterly
So
chat.
where does he go?
I think he's go. I think he just
Where,
is.
is he like?
I think he's just
I-
watching them.
I was
to
gonna
be
say, I got
honest.
the impression that he just leaves.
Yeah, I think he just leaves in air quotes. I think he just paces because like when she goes upstairs to investigate, he is right there. So like he didn't go anywhere. He has to have been there the entire time. And then they have a nice sisterly chat, and she's like, "Don't you take Peter from me. He's the only good thing that's ever happened to me. Remember that time when we were 7 when you took my fucking sweater?" And it's like
Yeah,
like,
but she has a
Don't-
point there, because this bitch is. That's all she
have
does
a
is steal her
point. She
fucking
does
man.
do that, doesn't she?
She's like, why? She's so offended too. Why
Yeah.
would you accuse me of that?
Why would you
Yeah.
accuse me of that? Yeah. And
Yeah.
then I don't know, cut to 4 minutes later
Yeah.
when she's literally having sex with Peter. And like she's like, "You're gross." And Peter's like, maybe you should reconsider. And she's like, "I reconsidered." It did not take like any effort whatsoever.
Now, Joe, we were talking about this. Do you think he has like some sort of magical
Mhm.
spell to where like he
it's
like
not a spell. I think it's pheromones because bugs do this shit all the time. I think it's pheromones.
Yeah, and I was
Joe,
wondering
what do you
that too.
think?
when she's eating, when he first gives her the food and she starts eating it, after
Yeah.
she takes the first bite, she gets really like all like starts like touching herself and getting
What?
really
Yeah.
into it and shit.
I
And
think
almost
that's
wondered
exactly
if,
what it is.
but then she mentions later that he's a good cook. So I don't know if that was just like he's a real good cook or he's like doing something to the food.
I think he's doing something because like it's heavily
Thanks,
implied
oh,
that his like kiss gives off some sort
That's
of
what I
like,
think too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because as soon as and it makes him like feel better.
Yeah,
their
it
whole
gives some
body.
sort
I think
of
it like relaxes him. Because
anesthesia
remember he like
effect.
well at the end he like fucking snaps his tongue like a
Yeah.
frog and like paralyzes.
Point paralyzer, which is
Yeah,
pretty
well,
neat. I think that's fun.
All right, we'll
Yeah.
save that though.
Yeah.
We'll save that.
Well,
But,
actually, we're pretty fucking close to the end.
I
Actually,
say we're already
Well, hold
like 15
on.
minutes into the episode.
yeah.
all right. So it's seriously hilarious because she's sitting in the bed with him and they already just went at it. Looks like they just went at it, right? They definitely just had sex.
They 100%.
And that
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
the sister's right in the other room too.
She's right in the other room, and she's like, I don't want to like he might hear us, and she's like, don't make a lot of noise, and it's like, yes, that's an airtight solution to this
And
problem.
she is shocked when the sister walks in.
I know she's so surprised that when she walks into the next room
This
after
chick,
she's been gone for question mark amount of time.
she is a piece of shit.
She is, yeah. The main character in the episode is not a technical,
No,
especially
and
likable.
May had all the right to
Yeah, it's funny because like
say
in the
something to her
beginning,
about it.
you're like,
Yeah.
oh, she's being really ridiculous. We're calling the black about stuff when they were kids, and then it's like, oh, apparently she hasn't changed at all.
Yeah. And then as she's crawling out from under a naked Peter, she's blaming him and saying it's all his fault.
I know, right?
Which I mean, technically, if he is like hypnotizing her, I guess it is his fault.
It
but
is
she's aware
technically his
enough to
fault,
recognize that.
For sure, because like he is like
She's not fighting him.
she
He's
didn't
like-
seem to care. She definitely seemed interested. It wasn't,
I want you to have my baby.
I know that is so fucking creepy. And she's like,
It was.
oh, you
Yeah, she just giggles and
You
gives
don't
him
want
a-
kids.
you don't want kids with a stranger. You don't even know my
Bob
last name.
Herbeck.
Peter Bugman.
Peter Bugman.
So then after that, May has a freak out and she puts a knife to her belly and she's like, I'm gonna kill your baby because you had sex with my sister. And then Peter's like, no, don't. And then the baby is like freaks out and she like starts going into labor. And the sister Ellen, whatever, she's like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna call a doctor. And it's like, A, we've already established there's no fucking phones. B, why even announce this? You know Peter's not out of the up and up. Just leave. And then he's like, no, actually, you're gonna get paralyzed by my paralyzing tongue, and you're gonna just sit on this couch here while you watch your sister give birth and also die. And then so this whole thing happens. This woman gives birth to a giant grub, which is a pretty good effect. It's gross looking. And then Ellen or whatever reaches out to grab Peter's hair and rips off half of his face. And it, like, to be honest, it looks like a lizard. It doesn't really look like a bug, but
I liked that part.
I like that part as well.
It's really cool. I wish there was more of that.
Yeah,
It looks like a Freddy Krueger thing.
it's a little bit like that gag from Freddy Krueger.
Did we just talk about this? Or was that last episode?
It's impossible to say. We'll be talking about Freddy Krueger a lot, I'm sure. But then it cuts away to that from her screaming, and then she's in bed with Peter, who's bringing her breakfast in bed while she is quite pregnant, and she also looks like she's dying.
Well, no, because you might think it's normal, and then
the belly
her
squirms.
her stomach starts squirming, like they showed earlier in the episode with the sister.
So before I go into what's different, well, I guess Joe can too. Before we go into what's different from this and the short story, what did we think of the episode?
I liked it. I think I needed to not watch it as many times as I did, though.
How many times did you end up
'Cause-
watching this?
I think at least 4 times.
That's 3 too many.
Yeah. Well, I kind
It
of
got hotter and hotter.
It
every
got
time.
hotter and hotter every
yeah,
time.
I just couldn't contain myself.
That's
No,
fair.
I just started trying to find more things to notice, and then the more I did that, the more I noticed things and
They were
started
bad.
picking it apart. I think just watching it with my brain off was probably the.
That's
best
the
way
way
to
to
watch it.
go with this, I think.
But all in all, I enjoyed it. I don't regret watching it.
I think it was pretty good. I want to ask you guys a question since this episode's so hot and steamy.
Yeah.
Let's play a game of Ding, Marry, Kill with these three characters.
Oh, okay. This is. Let's do
Joe,
this.
Joe, you start.
Okay. Like,
It's a tough one, I know.
it is tough because it seems obvious until I think about it. I mean, the obvious is bang Ellen, marry May, and kill Peter.
Is that obvious?
Yeah. I think so.
That's my answer too.
All right, you got to marry Peter because he's a good cook. That's obvious.
Yeah,
then-
but then he's gonna put a weird bug baby in me and
Not if you put one in him first.
hook up with my sister, and I don't like that. I don't like any of that.
And then I think the real Mary is Elaine. You got to kill Peter because he's a bug monster. And I guess. fuck May.
So what are you doing, Remy?
I don't know. I might be editing this part out.
Why is good.
So we'll do Mary, Elaine, Ding, May, kill Peter because he's a bug monstrosity that must die. So
Fair enough. And also, have you looked at Peter's IMDb page?
I have, yes.
Robert Kerbeck.
He's in some weird shit.
No, he has a book and he has pictures with. Hold on.
Yeah, he's with like every weird
Sam
celebrity.
Elliott.
Like
Aaron
this guy-
Brock, the real Aaron Brockovich. His book's called Malibu Burning: The Real Story Behind LA's Most Devastating Wildfire, and Sam Elliott's in a picture with him. I love Sam Elliott. I kind of feel bad for him that he's with him.
It's so weird. So weird. This guy was just like around.
Pierce Brosnan. He's with that. This is all like his book preview.
This is so weird.
And
Why?
that's about all he has. Yeah, his career really took a.
No one did
plummet after
anything
this
after this. This
episode.
was not good for anyone's career. This was literally the only thing May was ever in.
Oh,
She has no other credits on IMDb.
He's in a bunch of shorts.
He did, yeah. They all look weird as fuck.
yeah.
Oh, he was in an episode of Boy Meets World too.
Probably as a skeezy teenager.
We gotta watch that for the show.
But
That's all I got. It was a good episode. I liked it. I'd give it. Well, she always wanted to be an ant, so I'd give it an ant B minus again.
and Happy Mind. So
Yeah.
I like it. I think it's a fun, gross, sort of thirsty episode that like it's a type of TV thing that like I have a hard time imagining them making something like this and like modern television. This would be straight to Netflix, I think. Like
It would be straight to X videos.
It would. You know what? You're completely right. This is just from a different era, and like I think it's worth watching. A, because it's 20 minutes.
It is worth watching. It's pretty
It's-
jarring.
It will stick with you. It will make you feel things. They won't necessarily be good things, but you will feel things, even if it's just a little gross. And I'm a fan of anything that can make you feel anything, even if it's bad. So I'm going to give this 3 Peters out of a Walter. And
what are even your rating systems?
I don't know, man. They're ever evolving.
So
for
what
better
do we
accuracy.
get? We got an Ant B minus. We got 3 Peters. And what do you got, Joe?
Well, overall, I enjoyed it. And I think as we're going to get to after reading the short story, it gave it more context that I think made it make more sense to me. And I enjoyed more about it, knowing things that they didn't get across in the episode. So I would say I have to give it 6 horny beetles out of 10.
Very nice.
That feels right. Yeah. And the short story I think is better. I think if you
Yeah.
like this episode at all and you watch it, read the short story. It's much better. And it has like a lot. If you have issues with this, I guarantee you they're probably interested in the short story because they don't exist because it's quite
Yeah,
different.
and it adds lots of context too to stuff that they don't really touch on in the episode.
Yeah.
There's things they kind of just gloss over that the story actually delves into.
How long is it?
It's like 23 pages.
Yeah,
I
it's
read
not
it.
long. I was
Or
gonna say
how
it's under
short
30.
is it?
I read it in like 20 minutes.
You can
I was,
read
like,
it in
doing
a
shit.
single sitting if that's
Yeah.
the real question. But
Yeah,
the
maybe next year when we do Bughouse too.
yeah, electric boogaloo.
Boogaloo.
But so like one of the big differences is it's her aunt in the short story, not her sister. So like none of this like tawdry like Eskimo sister stuff is present at all. And like it's also not hot and heavy the same way it is in this. And also
No,
the
it's
aunt's
not at all.
not at all. Yeah, the aunt's not pregnant, at least not visibly so. She's like, it's revealed later on she's infested, but that's quite different.
Which is so much cooler.
It's
She
much
has
cooler.
crabs.
She's got bugs all up in her. Differenter bugs.
Oh.
More different bugs. And then the same fate befalls our heroine, but it's also not, she doesn't transgress and like choose to have sex with the bug man. It's pretty clearly Grape in
Yeah.
in
Like
the
full
story.
on like a
The bug
seltzer. It's
man.
very
Yeah.
descriptive and uncomfortable.
It's quite descriptive, and the story actually ends there. So
Yeah.
it's like it's a far more brutal tale. And it's better. The short story is better. But I think give the episode a watch because it's 20 minutes, and if you like it, read the short story. And you know what? Just read the short story because it's good, and reading's good for you. So like I say do that. And
Long live Peter Bugman.
long live Peter Venkman. What?
Bugman.
Bugman. Peter Bugman. Peter Venkman.
Oh, is it ever a Monday night?
Yeah,
I
I'm out of it today.
I do have one last like spiel if that's okay.
You go right
You
ahead.
go right ahead.
So the reason I picked this episode is because it fills you with just so many feelings that will linger, and like as evidenced by this, Joe watched this 4 times. And there is just a pervasive grossness that penetrates you through watching it, both physically in the deteriorating house and people that glisten with sweat and secrets. Then we are left with the themes of parasitism, and just how unfair biology is. Fun fact, scientists believe that over half of Earth's life is parasitic at some stage of its development. This includes humans. But there are species that travel from host to host, never knowing anything but the warm confines of whatever poor creature is burdened with them, including us. Humans aren't separate from the cycle. We are intrinsically linked to it. It's inescapable. And I think I like that this episode reminds me of that fact. And that's really all I have.
All right. then.
Very nice.
What's our next episode? What are we doing next time?
Next episode. My pick, right?
Yeah.
All
Yes,
right, we're
sir.
gonna do Inside Number 9, Season 1, Episode 2. It's called A Quiet Night In. It is available. It's available on Hulu or Amazon Prime, and there's a free trial for the BritBox, and you get all the seasons of Inside Number 9 because Hulu only has like seasons 1 and 2. So I watched a bunch of them. This is a really good show too. So
What
check it
season
out.
is this one on?
Joe told me about this show. This is season 1, episode 2. So this is on Hulu.
Perfect.
It's a Quiet Night In. Check it out,
Quiet Night In.
and we will be talking about that next week.
Sounds lovely. All right.
I also
long
have some
live-
trivia for today.
Oh, we still have trivia?
Yeah, would you like to do a trivia game?
Would love to.
Yeah.
Trivia.
All right. So all right, so this is a 1980s Twilight Zone question. So the episode name is Shatterday. And I'm gonna give you the premise, and you're gonna guess the actor in it.
Okay.
Okay. All right. The story follows a man who finds that a double of himself has moved into his apartment and is taking over his life. The segment is nearly a one-man show for this featured actor. And all the other significant characters appear only off screen. So it's a doppelganger story, which is weird because I think I just watched an episode like this of maybe Outer Limits. I don't know what it was, but
There's no new ideas. We're just recycling them all.
yeah. So, anyways, who do you think it is? 1, Liam Neeson. 2, Bruce Willis. Or 3, Mel Gibson. Who appears in Shatterday?
Can you give me those again?
Yes, Liam Neeson. Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yeah.
2, Bruce Willis. 3, Mel Gibson.
I think it's Bruce Willis.
I want to say Liam Neeson.
Final answers.
Yes.
Yes.
It is Bruce Willis.
God damn it.
Yes.
So Remy's up 2-1.
Because I just remember like Bruce Willis being included in the 80s Twilight Zone.
It's the first episode.
There we
of the
go.
80s Twilight Zone.
Yeah, because it's like I remember he's attached to that some fucking house. So.
Wes Craven actually directs this.
That's a
episode.
hell of an episode. We got to watch that. Damn.
Yeah, what did I tell you the other day? George R.R. Martin directs like 5
Yeah.
episodes of this, or he writes
s-
5 episodes.
I'm
of
so
this.
happy that this is apparently good. I always remember really enjoying it, but apparently actually good people made it. So it's like, all right, I feel good about this now.
Good people made it, but I don't know if it's great.
I remember
Some-
it
there's
being
some good
great,
ones.
so we'll see. I remember the cheese being delicious, so we'll see what happens.
That's
Is
all
that-
I got for today.
I think that is actually everything. I don't have any more fake trivia.
Joey,
and
you
I
got
think
anything
I'm
else?
out of the trivia game.
What are you up to?
I've got nothing I can think of. Sadly.
Happy Thanksgiving to all our listeners and watchers.
Yeah,
Yes,
happy
absolutely.
Thanksgiving or
Stay away.
happy
Don't let
Natives
Peter.
Day.
Don't let
Happy-
Peter cook your Thanksgiving dinner, please,
Don't let him glaze anything.
or he will bang you and your sister.
And
I
your
don't know,
sister.
That's like his one redeeming quality, though. If there's anything I want him doing, it's making me a meal.
What do you think Peter's up to nowadays?
The actor,
So,
face full of cocaine.
no,
Yeah,
not the
yeah, what-
actor.
Yeah, spoiler alert, at the end of his book, you find out he started the California wildfires.
Never see it coming. You never suspect.
See, all right, so there was all these bugs around the house, but he was giving birth to these giant bugs. Do
Mhm.
those bugs have little bugs on?
So I actually had the same thought, and it does irritate me because I think it's just like they're supposed to all be at the same size. I just can't do that. So I think there's
There
like, it
wasn't
doesn't
that
make
many
sense.
bugs. I don't like bugs. I don't
Yeah.
like bugs, and
Yeah, that wasn't really part of the story either.
No,
it didn't really
wasn't.
freak me out.
In the
bug
story,
thing.
when the aunt sister dies, isn't just like one bug crawl out of her mouth, and that's really all you
Yeah.
experience.
It's hinted that there are far more, but you don't see them.
it now
Yeah.
it does. Oh, yeah,
So
oh, yeah, because it's just a dream though. Wow, this is like Mario 2
yeah.
or Roseanne.
It started
Mario.
off as Doki Doki Panic, and
Was
then
it?
they changed it to Bug House.
Great game.
It is a great game.
I love Mario 2.
Yeah, they should make another one like that.
Featuring
Oh wait, they did like twice.
what's his name? Bob Kerbeck. All right, I'm done. All right, so
Bob Kerbeck, everybody.
happy Thanksgiving to everyone. Go check us out on @Tales from the TV on Twitter. give us some suggestions, whatever you want us to watch, any anthology shows, anything you want us to watch. I don't care. Or you can email us at talesfromthetv@gmail.com. We're still working on our YouTube page.
That will happen. That will
and
happen, I swear to
also
God.
we're pretty much on every audio feed for wherever you get your podcast too. Tales from the TV. Go check us out. 5-star review and leave a nice review for us, please.
5 stars.
And happy Thanksgiving.
Yes. Be safe. Enjoy yourselves.
Be safe.
And
Watch
go-
Adam's Family Values and have a good time out there.
Yes,
Yeah, it's like,
and
do it.
go check out Inside Number 9, A Quiet Night In for next episode, so you can watch along with us.
Yeah. Long live Tales from the TV.
Long live Tales from the TV.
Long live Tales from the TV.